Hello and good evening to this amazing creation with Laleh Hancock and myself. So hello Laleh, so grateful to have you here. And hello everyone from all the different countries in the world, whether it's Germany, Italy, China, Russia, Romania, Spain, France, wherever, Saudi Arabia. Really, really happy to have you here. And my first question is there anybody, and you can write that into the chat, is there anybody who has not heard of Access Consciousness or has read the book, Being You, Changing the World?
Now, don't you all raise your hands at the same time, okay?
Yeah. Even those who still don't understand what Access is all about, please raise your hand.
You know what? I think I should raise my hand.
I have raised on my forehead and my feet as well.
Almost 10 years, and I'm taking the ESB class, the Energetic Synthesis of Being with Dr. Dane, and my body knew, do not miss this class. I mean, I would like to take every single class like I used to be able to do. It's just not possible, but like, it's like I'm learning it all, like it's all brand new. Even though I know the tools, the energy that's now available with our being and the space of receiving, the space of questions, the space of receiving, being, gifting is just so different now that it just brings up so many different awarenesses. So thank you all for being here. And I want to first start by thanking our incredible translators, for all of you who are here now, and we'll have Romanian and Espanol later being recorded later. And Chrissy, I adore you. You are just such a gift in my life. And we asked some fun questions like we usually do. Her and I tend to ask a lot of questions every week with each other. And we were asking, like, come the new year, we know people are going to have different things that are going to come up in their world. What contribution can we be to what people are asking about? And that's how this magical adventures of being you got created. So Chrissy, do you want to say more?
Yes, especially because it's quite interesting when you are talking with Laleh. We're both based in Europe. Usually she's in Portugal, I'm in Germany, and we still have the best conversations in the middle of the night. So first of all, what is time? Can you please just join and create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all night, short, spoils, and beyond. So is there anybody who does not know about the Access Consciousness clearing statement? Or do you all know about it? If there's anybody who just says, no, in the chat, and then we know, and then we will explain to you the Access Consciousness clearing statement. Until nobody's speaking up, we will just go ahead. So, you know, Laleh, what was really interesting, I've attended a few Being You classes, but until I was actually in Mexico attending the advanced body class with Dane, my body said, stay for the BYCF, stay to go for the training to become a Being You Certified Facilitator, to be allowed to facilitate Being You classes. And honestly, I wanted to overrule my body, and that was not a good idea because my body said, we stay. And it was a training for a very, very special license for me. So this whole thing about being you it completely changed the energy of all my certified facilitator licenses, but of my whole life. Because, I mean, let's face it, it all starts with being you, whether it's your personal relationship with your body, whether it's business, whether it's money flows, whether it's whatever it is. So say more. I'm just so freaking grateful even for this conversation and even for this energy that this has already opened up.
Yeah. You know, I'm not even sure what being you is anymore because every 10 seconds it changes. I I remember when I took my first two, back then it was 3.5 days with Dr. Dane. I had been in Access for a couple of years, and I'd been in a lot of his intro classes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to be on vacation in San Diego. And then right after my vacation with my kids and my family, he was coming into San Diego. And there was a part of me that was just like, oh my gosh, you have to take this class. You have to take this class. You have to take this class. And I was like, wow, what is it about this class, And my kids were, I think, 18 years old. They weren't little kids, but it would have been our first travel together where we would travel together and then I would stay and then they would have to travel home on their own. And I remember just even making that choice seemed like such a huge judgmental choice,
Yeah.
Like my family was like, oh, how could you leave your kids to fly by themselves? And I was like, they're 18. It's not like they're 5 years old, but it was the starting point of, am I willing to really choose out of the box of the family, out of the box of being the mom, out of the box of being the daughter and the sister, where the judgments were coming. And prior to that, I've done a lot of Access. Judgments meant nothing to me. But for some reason, there was these stratifications, these definitions of what a mom's supposed to do and not do.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that class, my ask was, what would it take for me to be true allowance with my mom and sister? Because allowance for everyone else in the world was easy. My ex-husband, children, like it didn't matter. Like everybody was so easy for me. But when it came to them, it just wasn't. They would create shit in their life and there I was to clean it up. There was just like this, or I would get really upset that they're creating shit that I have to come clean up, And I remember that class changed my whole life. Because for the first time, not only was I receiving the judgments of being in town and not seeing my family, but going to a class. And then also the doors it opened to my family judging me for a million other reasons, And I realized, wow, what is true allowance? And the more I was willing to choose more for being me, whatever that is, that 10 seconds, allowance just showed up in such a different way. And yes, for 24 hours of their craziness, like my body had all sorts of aches and all the stuff, but I started re-listening to the class and I started asking more questions. And I realized it's like a sandwich and a pizza. What does that mean?
Yeah, and then when you talk about allowance, of course, allowance does not mean that you have to be a doormat. So what I found out, it's quite interesting that you're talking about the allowance with your family. What I found out, especially in the Being You Certified Facilitator training this year, I found out what it means to be an allowance with me, with my being, with not being a doormat and not being an allowance with all these people, especially in relationship, especially with the family, but also in business, and asking myself, okay, if I was truly being me here, what would it be like to be an allowance with what's true for me and what's my reality? And it's both. It's both. It's oneness with you as well, to have the allowance for other people, and at the same time always looking at what's honoring of your space and what's honoring of your reality, talking about the 5 elements of intimacy.
Yeah. And, the one thing I really want to emphasize here is that there is no destination that you're trying to get to with being me.
No, is it not?
No.
Damn it.
But really that willingness that every day and every 10 seconds, what is true for you? If you were truly being you, not these images, not these masks, not these box of category of mom or sister or executive or whatever these titles are, but actually truly being you. And I love it because Kathy says my first Being You class was in San Diego and I met Laleh there. So yay, Kathy. How to get better.
What would it take to get Kathy over to Europe soon so that we can have a real party?
Yeah, Kathy, come. But it's like, I love that these classes are actually called the adventures of being you.
Yes.
Because it is an adventure, you getting to know more of who you truly be, what you truly desire. I mean, like even this ESP class, we're on day 3 and Dane talks about it. Like, what would you like your life to be? Because it's still like so many things we ask for in our lives. It's because you learned them from others. You learned, oh, I should want this house or I should want this car or whatever. But like truly, like what brings you joy?
Yeah, and talk about a bucket list, the house, the car, the private jet, I'm becoming a pilot of my private jet, whatever it is. I mean, even people on your bucket list. What is a bucket list? And how much of that on the bucket list, on the audacious ask, on the big ask list is actually yours? And how much are you copying, duplicating from other people? How much might be reflexive realities from society, from within your family? And it's really funny. I remember, and Mike was actually pinging me on that. I was holding a business done different masterclass, and I was telling people initially in the beginning, more or less what I was doing in my life and how my parents wanted me to marry the doctor or the dentist, the son of their best friends. And I literally buggered off with a professional rock climber who didn't even finish school to England. And they were like, oh my God, big disaster. But I did it because I was being me. And so throughout my life, there were different situations where even a high flying job or a great relationship, I was saying from one second to the other, okay, this is not working for me anymore. And I left and I started from scratch. A new life, a new relationship, moving to a different country, a business. And Mike said, so even before you got to Access, you were kind of being you. And I was like, oh, wow. In a way, I probably was. But now with the Access tools, it brings up so much more, all these little details, tiny pieces of your life mosaic, of your mosaic of being you, where you're shifting different pieces of the mosaic to a different space, and all of a sudden it opens up a different light onto who you could be. It's really interesting. Are you being you by a puzzle that's pre-cut by somebody else in life, by society or your family? Or are you a never-ending and forever expanding mosaic of being you?
I love that. That is beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yeah. And I wonder like if you guys would even be willing to explore this after today, because we have just a quick little taster here tonight. But like even if you just ask the question that Chrissy asked earlier, with whatever's coming up in your life, like if you just like had a problem or something that showed up and you asked, if I was truly being me, would this even be relevant?
Yeah. The relevance of things is so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the other question is, if I was truly being me, what would I add to my life and living today?
And if I added that, what would my life be like in 5 years' time?
Yeah.
And if I didn't add that, what would my life be like in 5 years' time? And do you want to talk about light and heavy?
Oh yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I know most of you I think every tool is my favorite tool though. I'm like that little kid in the candy shop. I'm like, oh, which tool, which candy can I talk about today? But light and heavy is one that it doesn't matter how long you've been in Access, but just perceive those moments when we ask a question or you're asking a question and you notice from that initial moment, was there expansion or was there contraction? Because most of us don't realize, and by the way, I was the queen of this. I'm going to tell you right now, I was the queen of trying to figure it out from my head.
Mm-hmm.
However, what I realized is that was like my cover up, you know, like I would go with that initial moment of reaction, but I would do the other to like justify it. It's just really funny. It's just really funny, really, really funny. But with light, with lightness, it's what's true for you. It's just what resonates for you. It's what your points of views are. It's just like, that is more of the truth for you. And when something's heavy, it could be something like you picked up along the way. It could be something someone was impelling, you know, technologies, people, society, whatever. Or it's just something that is so outside of your world that it's just heavy. It just doesn't resonate with you. And the more you allow you to receive the lightness, to follow the lightness, to choose the lightness, is what will expand your life and living and be the wealth of your being. Okay. And that's the piece that we learned from day number 1. Light, heavy. So just know a lot of times these things that are not true for us, but they were true for our families, or they were true for our lover, or they were true for our teacher, or, you know, true for somebody else that we worked with. We masked the lie for us. We put kind of like a little bit of truth on top of it, and then we buy it and we sell it to everyone. And then this is what we're fighting for. Oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't have this, but it's really not yours. That's why it's not working in your life.
And you know, that's a great thing. And then you could ask yourself, if I was truly being me, whose reality am I living here? Is this my reality, or is this the reality of somebody else? And especially when something's heavy, especially when something goes like wonky and, oh my God, why is this person not reacting the way he or she should? Whose projections and expectations are these? Are these even yours, or are these the painted pictures of, when we take the topic relationship, or are these the painted pictures of the other person who was dreaming of this perfect relationship, and all of a sudden you buy this as yours, and then you go into all these judgments, and it goes like heavy and dense and whatever, and already that is a sign when you go like, ugh, is that truly yours? So one of my favorite tools, who does this belong to? No matter how many licenses we all have, no matter how much access, for how many years we've done, all the time, who does this belong to? And sometimes I found that I actually bought something of somebody else. So when it was heavy after that question, I was then going into pod and pog everywhere. I bought this lie as mine. And how quickly is that? Because you have this dreams and hopes and hopes and dreams and wishes and hopes and dreams and bucket lists. That's, yeah.
Yeah. And I actually, you know, how you were just describing, like, who does it belong to, right? Is it mine? Is it someone else's? Is it something else? And just notice how much more it's not yours and how much more might be something else. So
can you say more to that, to the something else, and make it clearer for people?
Yeah, because see, so often we think everything belongs to us. It's my body feels this, I'm thinking this, and all the stuff that we learned along the way, but that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, so anything that was an energy that was kind of walking by or jumping by or whatever, you are such a psychic SpongeBob that it's so easy for you to go, hi, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that, and then you make it yours.
You were just
you
saying
know
this, the psychic SpongeBob. I wonder what he looks like.
Oh, I've been saying that for years.
SpongeBob. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, he's cute like SpongeBob, but he's just got more awareness.
Maybe he's got some, I tell you what, he's got these antennas everywhere, these sparkles, that all these energies that are flying by, they just go flip, 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 almost like one of those octopuses that has tons of sparkly arms that catches all the energies. The SpongeBob, the psychic SpongeBob octopus. Yeah, and then you can ask yourself with many energies, what am I aware of right now? And then that comes back to this, okay, is it relevant? Who does it belong to? Yeah, like a vacuum machine. Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
No, I'm sorry, Sergio. It's not like a vacuum machine at all, because a vacuum machine is actually smart. It sucks it in and then you throw away the trash. Unfortunately, we don't throw away the trash. We take that trash and we're like, yum, yum, it's so yummy. Let me digest it into my body. And like, yeah, that's my new life. Sorry, Sergio, I didn't mean to step into that one. But unfortunately, life would be easier if we were willing to do it like a vacuum.
So unfortunately, Sergio right now has not won a vacuum machine for the greatest answer. Sorry, Sergio. So we go back to the octopus SpongeBob, the SpongeBob.
No, but I would like you to, would you be willing to invent a vacuum instead that could just take it and dissipate it? Oh, wait, we do have that. It's called the clearing statement. It's called right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night, shorts, boys, and beyond. And you can go to theclearingstatement.com if you don't know much about it. There you go. See, he wrote it. The pot and pock is the vacuum machine. Yes. So you got, who does this belong to? Yours?
Yeah.
Someone else? And see, the funny thing is, the someone else, we always like have someone that pops when we ask that question. Oh, that's my mother. Like, I don't know why, but the moms always show up. Yes, but they're not.
And then we already have the judgments on then we already have the conclusions on we decided it must be that one. And then again, it evolves all around this energy that we are actually locking ourselves into having that conclusion that it must be that person who is the evil of all of our dilemmas and problems and whatever, and projections and judgments.
Yeah. Yes.
Who does that belong to?
Yeah, who does that belong? But see, this is the funny part. I learned this when I first started to do the who does this belong to for 3 days, that I told myself, I'm so good. When I frequent access, I'm like, 3 days, that's not long enough. I'm going to do 3 weeks. Okay. Because I'm that kind of student. Yeah, no perfection anymore. Thank God. Okay.
Go ahead.
You know what?
You know what popped up for me in a very interesting session with Simone Miller's, founder of Joy of Business. I had a hot seat with her during her sort of monthly program, and you know what I was hiding behind, and that is something that is another tool that really gets me also more into being me. It's everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Even when you're asking, who are you? If you were truly being you, what would create more for your life in that situation? And on one hand, we have the points of view. On the other hand, we have all those projections and expectations. And that was actually what you were mentioning earlier on about hiding underneath something. I was hiding my truly being me under everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Now, try and grasp that with your head, with your mind. It doesn't work. It's a tool that you cannot even explain. But it changes the energy in a way that very often other things don't.
Yeah. Can I finish who does this belong to?
Yes.
If it's somebody else's, remember we got distracted by the mom thing, which became that. The one thing I realized is when you say return it to the sender, it doesn't go to a person. It actually is for an energy to get stuck to become a point of view or a situation or an issue that someone submits to you, is actually when an energy came and got stuck. So when two people had that, agreement or resisting and reacting to it, it became locked. And so when you return it to the senders with consciousness attached, you're sending conscious energies to that locked energy. And what happens is that energy unlocks, dissipates, and releases. And now that energy is free flowing energy again. So I know a lot of times when people say, who does it belong to? They say, oh, it's someone else. They want to blame someone, but it's not about someone. It's just that it got stuck and people bought it as real. So when you're willing to be the leader and actually send consciousness to it, you allow it to open up, and anyone around the world that had that point of view, that stuck energy, you just unlocked it for them. So now somebody had knee pain because they thought of whatever reason they had a knee pain, they're healed. And they're like, oh, what happened to my knee pain? It's gone. I am healed. And they don't know that you are the magician on the other side of the world or next door to them that let go of a point of view. So I'm saying, like, if we really have fun with these tools and not try to do the little mind fuck here, you know, but actually really play with them, it's amazing how much you can utilize who does this belong to really change everything.
And like you say, the great thing is that you don't just heal one person. So whoever has knee pain, if you're just taking that example, whoever has knee pain at that moment in time, when you say it, you clear so many energies, and you're such a contribution already by saying, return to sender with consciousness attached. And that's the beauty about it. When you don't make it significant who it's supposed to go to.
Yeah. Now, they may not choose the healing because they might think it's impossible, and they might bring it back and recreate it, but that's their choice, you know?
Yeah, that's their choice.
So Chrissy, we're almost at the end of our teaser. Do you want to talk more about teasing?
We wanted to tease you, obviously, because we want to contribute to all your life and to truly looking at what it is to truly being you. But we have a very special event for you, which is happening at a very, very, very special location in Europe, in Italy, in the Piedmont, on a hill, on a beautiful hill in the Piedmont near Torino, called Casalborgone. And that is a castle full of magic, a castle that requires of you to truly be you when you're at the castle. You can't be anything else. You just go to the castle, and it is, to me, a very special location to hold a full weekend of being you and what it is like to truly be you. So we're inviting you to that weekend, which is happening on the 12th and 13th of February at the Castello di Casalborgone in Italy, near Torino. Closest airport is Milano. It starts at 10 o'clock, it goes until 5. We have some special events at lunchtime. We have some special event in the evening. And if you have not been to the castle, this is a very special event to be held at the castle. And would you like to say more on that, Laleh?
Wow. Well, I actually had the great pleasure of visiting this castle before it got renovated. And we can't even say renovated because that's not even what happened here, but brought its beauty out, I think, is a better way of describing this beautiful castle. And it was interesting, just as I was walking up the hill from the gate, I had this awareness. I started to actually perceive the castle, what it looked like in the past. It's been around since
999.
Yeah, 999.
Yeah.
And then I started to visualize what it looked like today, and I hadn't even gone inside yet. And then it showed me the future, and I was like, oh my God, like it was like a split of 2 or 3 seconds. I don't even know how long it was, but like my whole body had chills and I was just melting, and I hadn't even like walked in yet. I just was like on that hill going up to the front. And then we walked in, and this castle had been abandoned. And so no one was living there almost 50 years. And you still had stuff on the table. Like there was no food or anything, but like you still had like bowls and plates. But like 50 years, you would think they'd be like, I don't know, this much dust, you know, like even the 50 years of dust didn't look like it was that dusty, you know, it just had this natural beauty. And I knew I was part of the dazzle contributing to the castle when we first got it and things of that sort, but I knew this was such a special castle that I really wanted to contribute to no matter what and be part of its growth. And I went there for the grand opening, and I remember I had a conversation with someone and they got me a little upset, and I usually don't get upset, but he knew which little area to trigger. And I walked into the castle and I couldn't even cry. I couldn't even be upset. Like, I could not hold judgment, anger, frustration, or anything. My body melted, and all I could be is joy, because that's really the true me. And I realized that moment, like you described it, Chrissy, it's like the castle doesn't allow you not to be you.
Yeah.
That manipulative bitch. She's amazing. And but not from like, not making it significant, but it's just that there's so many amazing lands and so many incredible properties that really want to gift you being you. And they'll gift whatever energy and frequency that allows you to recognize who you be. And oh yeah, the link, we'll have someone put it in the chat.
Yeah, Heike can put it in. Heike somewhere. Yeah.
And if you're not able to travel from your country to come to Italy, don't worry. We're also going to have it on video Zoom. So you guys will have it just like this as well. But I wonder, ask your bodies, because I've been traveling since April to everywhere. Russia, I wasn't even allowed for a long time. And then I've had a visa, and my body said, we are going to find ease. And when ease is there, we're going to travel to Russia. And here I am. So there are no prerequisites.
Yeah, I'm just typing it in. No prerequisites, not even a bars class. It would be good to know what the clearing segment is all about. All I can say is, whatever class I was holding and also participating in at the castle, it's almost, you get a free body process class at the same time in a way, because the castle contributes so much to every part of your body and to the way that you can receive the class.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, this is all by the being of the castle. Gary listens to the being of the castle, to what she wanted to look like and be like and have inside of her. Everything he's purchased is because the castle said yes, you know, and the land has consciousness. Like, it's our class in action.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
It's like, so it's almost when you're there for a live class, it's almost, if you're not quite sure what it is like to be truly you, you just ask the castle. You just relax and receive the energy of the castle. You receive the energy of the class, and all of a sudden you just be you, without even thinking about it. But then thinking about the translators, I know that there's some translators on here that have to go to do a line check with somebody else whose class is starting at 7 o'clock. And we promised that the teaser is only for 30 minutes.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for being here with us, whether you joined us live or you're watching later. And just by your choice of being here, what are you already being? And what else is possible for you to choose? And thank you so much. Oman, yes, how does it get better? And I adore you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, translator. Thank you, every single one of you amazing beings and your magical bodies that came to play. And we look forward to playing with you guys really soon.
And thank you so much, Mike, for coordinating all the languages. Mike is a true Zoominator. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Mike.
Laleh, so grateful for you to be doing this class with me.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Have fun.
Bye-bye.